Welcome back, everybody, to another Fuel Esports broadcast. We got some Overwatch action. It's Fuel versus Ithaca College. And, I'm excited for this one. I'm Newt. I'm joined by Santi today, a bit of a fresh face here. Not something you're used to, but, Fuel versus Ithaca have played a lot before, so we'll see how this goes. This is our third place match. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great today. Honestly, I feel like our Fuel team has a good chance of winning this. I believe in them. They have a good roster, so we'll see how the game goes.
And speaking of that roster, well, never mind. We'll take a little bit of a quick second just to keep chatting about the matchups. Yeah, Ithaca and Fuel have fought together a lot. They've been in the same bracket, I believe, both same group, both semesters I've casted Overwatch. Ithaca ended up besting Fuel in the first semester, but this semester, Fuel's kind of had their number. So we'll see how that matchups end up going to play out, right? We have a lot of star players, right? Woody is going to be there on that Sombra role, right? You're going to have, Scummy playing that tank. Door is a killer hit scan. Little Spark as well is fantastic on those flex picks. And then Artemis and Bugaboo are fantastic on the back line. We'll have to see what roster's going to be starting. But, we'll take a second here, and, we'll just
Chat about teams. Well, for the teams, I play a decent amount of Overwatch. Not that great at it, unfortunately. But I know that Sombra is a little annoying to play with. Well, not with. Honestly, it's fine with because you just see them camping their support in the spawn point. But playing against the Sombra is quite annoying.
And there are the rosters we're looking for. So you'll see Scummy, Tank, Little Spark, and Woody are going to be your starting roster for the DPS. And then Artemis, Bugaboo going to be classic support. The only really, thing to note is the fact that Woody is coming in at the start. Normally, Woody would be kind of a ringer for this team, right? Comes in on that third, on that fourth map when they're down a bit, or, specific maps, right? Loves that new Queen Street. So, we'll see how she ends up doing on Koth. Haven't seen much of her on this control so far. So I think, if Sombra's out of the picture, it could be definitely a little bit scary. But I think, getting that Sombra ban out of the way early on is definitely going to help Fuel in the long run.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree with you with that. Getting it early, Woody early sounds like a good idea. Like seeing, because most of the time she comes in like a clutch pick, for like Sombra coming in clutch,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, Woody is going to definitely be more of that clutch player. So we'll see how she does on the starting. But before we wait, as we wait for our game to load up, we're going to have to take a quick short break, but don't go anywhere.
I close my eyes, it's not a dream. There's so much more that I can get. Let me wonder when we go to bed. I swear that I couldn't keep. Close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 There's so much more that I can get. Let me wonder when we go to bed. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I swear that I couldn't keep. Close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 Money got me like. Money got me like. Money got me like.
Hello, hello, welcome to our first game here. We're on Samoa, modes control, Fuel gonna ban away the Brig as Ithaca bans away the Zarya. So Scummy gonna have to go to a different tank option. Now he does love this Mauga on these tight corridor spaces, right? He loves to play on Flashpoint, specifically Atlas is where you'll see Fuel really pull out the Mauga. But here on Samoa, it looks like they're gonna be doing that as Ithaca, they're a classic rush team. And you know, this they love playing this Junker Queen, this Lucio comp. They love just running over a team. And Fuel has fallen victim to this in the past. Control usually goes the way of Ithaca, so we'll see how this goes as we're rolling out on double flex support.
Yeah, well, you can see, like, with Fuel's comp, it's literally, like, all in, first try to kill someone as fast as possible, like, especially the Sombra. And with the team at Ithaca, got, like, Reaper, which is going to shred the... Oh, Woody got picked already. What the...
Yeah, and it seems we're going to have to take a quick, pause here as our own tech issues are going to be coming on. So, the game will not pause. It'll still be going on as Berteri is going to get a second pick here. Bonka door trade, but we'll cut to rosters really shortly here as we do have just a little bit of technical issues here from our perspective. But it's okay. This first fight did end up going the way of Ithaca. As we'll be seeing as we get back into things. Now, the Sombra pick here from Woody is interesting, right? You're playing a lot closer quarters than you usually would be with this Sombra because of the fact that they're playing this rush comp, right? Now, left is back over to the Tracer. Interesting because Tracer did end up just getting nerfed and it's kind of been falling out of the meta here and there. As Fuel gets the flip. Obviously, you guys can't see that, but as here we'll be seeing heading in shortly here as now Abateri is going to be hitting in through main. On Abateri got some trades there as left as well. Going to get last one. Artemis looking for some late seconds picks. These last second trades are so crucial, especially on a point like Kothis, like Volcano here, but they are going to lose. The flip goes back over the wave Ithaca as the ultimates. Rampage is up, but so is Cage.
Well, yeah, it's interesting here because both teams have Jericho and Jericho, being Jericho, is still able to cleanse the Rampage, which is quite annoying when you're playing with Cage punching Jericho can't cleanse it. I see if they're wondering if they're going to look onto those supports here. Yep, going in and
stomp there as it follows up with a Cage here. Scummy catches 4, but the beat comes in from Jambadus, who gets pretty good value. Abateri ended up picking off Woody, who switched over to the Mei. Now the Rampage comes in, and there's no Suzu in sight. As Scummy's in the back line, they're going to trade out kills here. But Onk finds Artemis. Jambadus trades, though. Scummy gets both supports. Kills 3 here for Scummy, who's taking over right now on map. Left finds Bugaboo. Scummy forced to reload. His left just keeps dashing away. Mei walls off themselves as now Scummy forced to use that commanding shout. He has to be careful. He's going to fall at the very end as left gets that melee kill. And Ithaca keep it going as the point almost flipped over to Fuel. They find that fight and they keep the snowball rolling. Death Blossom up. You have that rush and you have that pulse bomb. Fuel staring at just an overclock and a tidal blast.
Yeah, like the lack of ult on Fuel side makes a big problem. Having 3 ults, especially Death Blossom and Kiriko is a really good combo if they're able to use it properly. Oh, they already used it right now, and oh my goodness, they're already getting it.
And they're playing this one quick. Rush in basically to spawn here as Door just gets walked over. Now the tidal blast is here from Scummy, but a good boop from Jambadus means that they save. However, in the meantime, Woody ended up getting a pick as well as a second there. Now Bugaboo gets traded out, so both backlines are in danger as left is still just running amok here. And once again, it's left to just Scummy, who's forced to reload on point as the clock ticks down. He falls in overtime will slowly start to, unless Door finds some magic. 2 kills with an overclock, a third here for Door, who finds the 4th headshot. And Door with an insane clutch to keep Fuel in this round. The overclock, a last second desperation pull there from Door, finds 4, it finds the value as the heads are clicked. A Rampage is back, a Blizzard and a Cage will be built in soon for Fuel as they need to keep the snowball going.
Yeah, this is actually looking really good for Fuel now. That actually clutch from Door is actually insane. The only problem is Blizzard might be hard to use with this Lucio here, and Fuse is essentially able to get out. So we'll see how this goes here.
Start up here, Scummy finds us dash, a good wall there from Woody. We'll find both members as the Blizzard's also invested. May have been a bit of an over-investment here for Fuel. I don't know if you needed that Blizzard. We'll see if they can keep this fight up as Cage will be here. And Artemis has a pretty large advantage here on that rush, right? Identical Jam only at that 30%. Now you do still have this Rampage, especially if, left or a Bateri can somehow force out cleanse. Like if left finds his pulse bomb, forces out that Suzu, then this Rampage is really gonna just tear through the health bars of Fuel as they're struggling. Carry on the side, and here it is. Cleanse up on 3 members of Fuel, but Woody actually ends up dodging it. Bateri finds Bugaboo, who's over on the Lucio to touch. Woody finds left in this Cage, finds a lot of value aside, and a shot. His Door finds a second retreating pick here. His team has fallen. Fine, Bateri might be able to be clutched up as Scummy is still on point, and they keep control as the tank fell to the side of Ithaca. this Sojourn and this Mauga are the duo of dastardly destruction right now. But as I say, that left switches over to the hit scan and finds two as this Cassidy tears through the hearts of Fuel. Looked like they had it. Feels like at the end, Ithaca found the win off of a switch to the Cassidy from left. Final shots ring true here, side of Ithaca. As Fuel now forced to take a reverse sweep on this map. Now, a little bit of mention there to Door about how well he ended up playing that one. But in the end, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, Door coming in clutch with that quick 4K to keep them alive on there. It's just unfortunate they had beat for that last fight, so it made it easy, and the swap to McCree made it much easier to kill. Like, the double dink to the head on Door was actually unfortunate to happen, so we'll see how these games go, see what the comps are going to bring up next.
We will, as we're going to be heading into our second point of Samoa, coming up soon, as both teams getting ready, coming on to spawn. We'll see what Fuel ends up going for. If they're going to stick to the Sojourn, which is kind of what Door loves to do, as it seems to be, they're going to keep that matchup. As now, because we're on this more wide open point, we see a Freya and a Sojourn, a double hit scan here for the side of Ithaca, as Onk's going to switch over to Orisa, a bit more solo point ability, right? Doesn't have to be babysit, doesn't have to play that rush as much as that, as well as a double flex support here, but it's a little bit weaker than the Wuyong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. On is hard to play as usual when Fury goes. And Fury being a thing, cleansing is broken. Oh,
Matter, Door finding the shots, but he is going to back off as Scummy and left, find some trades. Woody's going to fall. Terry going to find a second. Now Door ends up falling. Fuel in trouble. They do have both supports up as well as Scummy. Somehow they got this first flip. Artemis has to be careful. You cannot be peeking at Freya, especially when this Freya can hit these shots like Left was shown to be able to, but hasn't found those bolts yet, those double bolts. Deadly here, gonna force a Suzu out if it does hit. As Onk switches over to the Diva, a bit better in for this Mauga. The Orisa just gets run over too quickly from the amount of poke damage here from Fuel, as Woody now needs to try to build some sort of EMP. Switches back over left, finds something. Jamba Juice actually picks off Woody with a anti-nade Door, a nice sliding headshot yet again onto left. Sabateri find those trades as well as Ong. Members of Ithaca swarm in on Fuel. Just a shouting Mauga, but what can you do when there's a defense major in your face and it's stopping every single bullet? There's no self-healing in sight for Scummy as Fuel over the flip. Flank here from Door though.
well, yeah, the big swap to Diva actually made that fight much harder for him. Mauga having to needing to hit and have burn effect on their target to heal left him like utterly useless. The swap to Ramatra here is actually pretty good. Yeah, having the fist, be able to punch through shields and not worry about here.
The Ram is very strong. Nice bola shot into the hearts of Fuel, but what he finds left, and the members of Fuel live due to that Suzu, right? That Suzu keeps them alive. Nano comes in, but Woody is back here, but the virus is going to go wide as it's stuck on a wall. It will find their way out eventually. A little bit of a journey here as Clock comes out from Door, who's pulling another miracle clock here. He does find two. Door finds them all, though, this time. Does not find a third, but it doesn't matter. He already did the damage, however, left, trying to keep this up. But because the tank fell, Scummy keep pressing the advantage forward with this Ram. Now, Ram, extremely strong right now, right? He's run over so many members, especially the amount of healing that you end up having from this Kiriko and this Wuyong backline. We'll see the amount of damage they can deal. Bugaboo just curving these orbs around each and every corner, especially with the triple orb perk coming online here. A booster in the side of Onk to try to clear some space. It does do that with the Wuyong. The Tidal Blast is on to Woody. Tune Rush used as well. Heal here for Bugaboo is good, but Jamba Juice picks off Woody. 1-for-1 as the clock comes out from Abateri.
What a pick from oh my goodness, the Fury pick was huge.
Oh my goodness, just gonna dink there, get that kill easily as now, struggling to find the answer for Ithaca. They haven't really been able to solve this Ram switch. This Ram switch has been running them over. This Diva is just falling victim to a hack. A Ram punch. Left, though, finds one as Jamba Juice pick off an overextended Woody. And, Castor Curse is a classic for a reason. As I speak that, Ithaca finds their answer, and it's off of the back. The pick onto Door and Woody as Scummy as well just goes a little bit too aggressive. Now they can hold his forward position, which is very strong for their comp. Left switches over to the cast. They're still sticking to this double hit scan. zero flex DPS comp. However, Woody has the EMP as well as Annihilation it up, but who needs any of these ultimates if Door finds a dry pick on the left? However, Door gets traded out. Onk looking for something, forced to use all of that defense matrix shard just to get out of main.
Oh my goodness, Woody gets picked, but it picks Sombra hack. We'll see how this works, but using 3 ults, they're investing so many ults here. We might use Vampire's ult. Annihilation comes out.
Good sleep though from the side of Jamba Juice, but it does get woken up. So Scummy, the Annihilation runs out. The High Noon was pulled. Onk finds Bugaboo on the back here. This D.Va is going to cause some problems with Door yet again. Finds a magic pick. Woody finds one as well. The EMP didn't find any mark. Rest did as both DPS of Ithaca fall. Onk left alone here, kind of on point. Has that remake, is able to keep the fighting. Thor finds another, and the Suzu from Artemis is perfectly timed to keep Thor alive as another clock gets pulled. Fuel take their first of this point to bring us 1-1. A little bit of stalls here, but it's not going to do too much unless a hit comes in, but it does not. As it's just last second running in to die. Young ult used. You cannot save ult between rounds as Fuel will find their one.
That was well played from Fuel on that second map there, or second power control here. I would say that the Scummy swap to Ramatra there was actually really good there. Having to be like switching from Malga quickly over to Ramatra over there to deal with the D.Va instead. I wonder if they'll stick on the D.Va since they know we have a Ramatra now, because D.Va into Ramatra is not the greatest matchup. But we'll see, because it's good to D.Va right there.
We will see. As this point, there's that giant pillar in the middle, so you're able to, kind of play some LOS a little bit more, right? You don't have to be out on the open the entire time when you're sitting on that point. So we'll see how they end up doing. It does look like they're going to stick to the D.Va. Yeah, Scummy understanding as soon as the Malga first death happens, as the D.Va's seen, just realizing I have to switch, right? Really what makes a fantastic player is someone who knows their time to switch, knows what they have to do to make a victory happen, as the long fight will end up going the way of Fuel as they end up having, now there is a Reaper here, so a bit more front-loaded damage, but Scummy just got a laser left there who just had zero respect for the Ramatra primary fire damage. Onk tries to look for something, but just gets blown up as the second pick here for the side of Fuel as members chase down. Thor left low, but that structure charge will stop it. Double slide as well. It just means such a slippery character this Sojourn is when you have that double power slide.
Exactly. So like Sojourn being double slide, I feel like it's just too good of a perk to have on her. Being able to be so slippery and shoot so much DPS onto the front line and back line with the charge shot there. And here they go, coming back for another fight up close now here.
People don't want to give any position to the side of Ithaca, as position is what their comp really relies on. Now they are over to this rush comp. Onk switching over to what they're kind of played all the time, as Fuel forced to reset far, far and away because Bugaboo ends up falling. Now left falls to the disruptor shot, just underestimating the damage there from that. It did get buffed, so it does a lot more. Jamba Juice finds Scummy. Because the tank of Fuel fell, I imagine this fight is going to go the way of Ithaca. So trading blows here, both teams. Fuel, they try to hold an aggressive position because they know they're on that D.Va. Clock gets pulled here from Door in an interesting attempt to clutch to try to recreate, that miracle that happened on Volcano, but it's not going to come. It's instead just going to be a wasted clock here. As Onken left finds the trades. Woody 63 to an ultimate. Scummy about there with Annihilation. Artemis and Bionicle both equal pretty much on these rushes as Bugaboo trailing Jamba Juice. There is a beat here for the side of Ithaca, but you have to pretty much save it for this EMP in some way or another. So what they end up doing is an early rush that can be traded from both sides. But Onk already finds one. Door finds the trade though. Onk may be overextended here. Bugaboo finds both backliners, so there's no healing on the side of Ithaca as they just overextend. It's a game of overextensions here for both teams. Fuel overextend, fight into the spawn of Ithaca, and they lose their control. Now Ithaca does the same. Sticking to the point seems to be the way to win for both of these comps. As 54% to 37, you will have point control. The ultimates, EMP up, almost up here. You have Annihilation and Tidal Blast, and you're just fighting into 4 ultimates here. But a lot of them are reactionary or just not going to be game-winning, team fight.
Yeah, Rampage and like E are not going to be super important here. Oh, that big pick on Woody though. Oh, and they're going in all the way.
He'd invested to stop this Tidal Blasting ramp, this Annihilation, but it doesn't stop anything. Just delays the inevitable as Scummy keeps punching. Mike Tyson is here to stay. Scummy finds another. Left though, good trade onto Door, trying to keep their team in this game, but now 90% as Fuel. Last fight territory for Ithaca here on this map. Artemis looking for some sort of notification. Jamba Juice gets that touch, but it's an early touch. Didn't have to touch for another 3%. Just distracts the members of Fuel, but now that Lucio is just going to get traded out. A good TP there from Artemis means it doesn't have to invest the cleanse. Mitseri does find the trade, but the rest of Fuel fall. The rest of Ithaca fall. Death Blossom, the special move used at the end, but it wasn't enough. It just didn't matter as Fuel reverse sweep on Samoa and take it 2-1.
Well, that was well played from Fuel back there. I was honestly surprised they were able to win that last fight there. They were down a lot of ultimates there, but they were able to bring it back somehow. They invested 3 ults there and somehow weren't able to cap point there. But
it was just a throw from Jamba Juice. I don't know what your Lucio is doing, going on an adventure, when it's 93 to the point, right? 97 makes sense because you're going for that last second touch.
yeah.
But you had the ability to touch. Your Junker Queen was there already. Instead, what happened was the fact that, the Lucio's just out in no man's land and gets picked off by Door, and that means you just lack your speed boost, you lack your healing, and you lack pretty much the whole function of your comp. Your comp is speed boost plus commanding shout into walk at them. But instead, they lose that as Fuel going to take a 1-0 lead in our series. We'll see how they end up doing in these next maps to follow, but we're going to have to take a short break before that.
And here we are with game 2, and there is a new voice now for game 2. I'm Dragon, I'm back.
Yeah, Santi, thank you very much for filling in there, as a little bit of obligations ended up coming up, but Santi was there. I make sure you guys give like a round of applause, a nice little W. Santi.
They were fantastic.
W.
They
Santi
did really
in
good.
in the chat as really did fantastic as a fill-in. But here, Dragon, we're back. This is the squad that's done Overwatch quite a few times, as we've seen this team play together. I believe you've casted when Ithaca and Fuel have played.
Yes, Ithaca and Fuel have faced each other in the past, and
a
a
lot.
lot. These two have constantly clashed over and over and over again. Ooh, left going on with the Widowmaker. Let's see. Oh, by a hair, almost misses a solid headshot, and already the engagements are going out.
Yeah, this card already rolling down, but now Woody picking up the Echo here is something that they've been looking to try to play, but it is going to be a first pick there. So maybe a bit of an overinvestment, as let's see how that ends up going. It's going to be better than the May on this map for sure, right? But it's kind of the game where you're getting your Sombra ban out of the way. Speaking of the bans, Fuel going to ban away Wrecking Ball. They hate playing against Ball, and honestly, I don't blame them.
Oh, not
Left
for
though
this
did find a
map?
headshot onto Bugaboo, as I think I'm going to ban away the Sombra, so Woody, signature pick. Now, Thor is going to be over towards the Freya, not sticking to the Sojourn here. Freya quite strong on this map. Widow's kind of better because this is the best Widow map probably in the game still outside of the circuit, because we have those long angle sight lines, especially point A. But on this Hazard, it's going to be a bit of a problem for the backline of Fuel, as Woody falls yet again. Now, Scummy over towards the Zarya. It was banned last game. Does love his Zarya plays, but that anti-nade from the side of John Medusa is going to catch Fuel off guard and catch Scummy out, as this card's just going to keep rolling forward. Another slash. Dash and slash there from Onk on this Hazard is going to cause real problems for Fuel. This card just has not stopped.
No, as Ithaca keeps managing to do these advanced, Woody and the rest of the field try to go for some form of a defense, but the problem is that you have left on precision marksmanship. You have the Genji on the attack, Ankh on that break. You got Jomidus and Savez that are maintaining those flanks and stopping any type of advancement. And as Ithaca is pushing, what Fuel needs to do is find a way to lock down and actually get into their back line.
Yeah, now that wall is going to go quite wide there for Ankh, not where they wanted it to land, but it doesn't matter, as left now has walls up, so Fuel have to be careful about these peaks. The first shot's going to go wide. I believe that down 4 actually came out for Ankh, who ends up falling in the back line to that focusing beam of Woody, so the cart may finally stop for the first time here. Another shot goes wide as Door and Scummy are going to keep that push going, as Adversary and Savies are going to walk away. Now, Savies actually got subbed in over, they ended up taking out that player. Savies is normally their starter, so it makes more sense here, as that wall almost causes a problem, but thankfully, Sojourn has that jump after that slide. We'll be able to keep themselves alive as Door back over the Sojourn. This is a tighter corridor, right, so it makes more sense. Freya really good on that first point, always wide open. Here, though, you have to be careful. Keep your heads hidden, as left is hunting for these headshots. They just keep going wide. Not even a body shot to boot, as left finds another body. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Pressure is just all on. I think I just keep applying pressure. Left picks off Woody again as the blade comes in, and that's another blade, but a beautiful grab there invested from Scummy, as well as the title blast now from both sides. Rally comes in. Side of Bugaboo, ults traded here and there, but the ult fights ends up, they stall out those ult bursts, those ult combos there from the side of Ithaca, but Ankh finds these late trades. Bugaboo looking for something, as well as Woody. The round Echo extraordinaire here is just going to fall to Ankh yet again, who finds a third. Bugaboo falling to that dash melee as Left finds another, and the second point gap is coming in here for the side of Ithaca, who keep marching this one forward.
Ooh.
Artemis caught jumping versus Widowmaker. The #1 rule you cannot be doing in this game, jumping. You know, it's a lot better than some of the other hero shooters around. Left still just on this forward and aggressive. Onk here, Left finds another Woody taken out of the skies. Bird's wings were clipped mid-air by Left's headshot there. Now they're just still on the defensive. Fuel have never been able to find their go button. They haven't been able to start anything. It just feels like they're always losing as walls come in yet again.
No, and that's exactly what's going on with Scummy actually swapping over to the Malga. That might bring something to the table, but the problem is when you have someone like Left who's just being uncontested in the back line with perfect lines of sight, they're just able to do so much damage and also escape and get away. All you need is for Widowmaker to get those tags and then let your teammates follow through.
Kitsune comes in as well as a coffee onto the hazard. Woody, not find that down for yet, but Scummy and the rest clean that up as a good Kitsune rush. But that's 2 ults invested inside of Fuel. Now Onk ended up using a downpour. I don't know if it caught anything really, as 2 ults to 1 here. If they end up using them all, they do have support ults coming up here. They're going to build up towards another Nano Blade, and they will not have, you don't have that grab to stop it. But Scummy could look to cage it this time. As well as Bugaboo. We'll have that rally coming up. Woody switches over to the Mei. It's a tighter corridor here where the walls a little bit have a little bit more value. Blizzard has more value. The ability to match high ground, but Onk finds Dorn in the back line. So already your main damage here for Fuel has fallen. Left finds another headshot onto Woody. Onk keeps this high ground pressure. Fuel doesn't have the way to get back up. They're forced to just kind of stay up here. They can't play, ping pong, a drop up and down. Now they're on the low ground. They're forced to be here until Woody gets back with another wall. Scummy falls to Savies. The overclock is pulled from Dor, who's looking to make magic happen yet again, like they did on Samoa. Shots are not finding the heads of Ithaca. The cart continues to roll forward.
And it seems that Ithaca they snowballed and nothing has stopped them. They are being pushed back at the final section, but is it going to be enough? They need to hold out for 2 minutes, and it's a 2 meter, 1 meter slow, and that is Ithaca taking all 3 points and Left getting a casual double kill right at the end.
Fuel not going to find, that touch at the end there. It's going to go the way of Ithaca as, they full cap the map with 2 minutes remaining. It feels like Fuel, they have to go to the drawing board. Woody, not happy about that one for sure. The rest of the team, they're feeling, they're pondering, right? You see 2 people pondering. Scummy pondering, I'm imagining, inside of his head. As we'll see what they end up going with, as it is now their attack. Here, if they can get past first point, second point's pretty much guaranteed, and then third's a little bit of a hard part. But first point, getting past this first bridge can be a real struggle for some teams, especially when you're versus, a Widowmaker such as Left. We'll see heading into it what the comp's going to be. It looks like Scummy's going to lead towards this Diva.
And it seems that for the side of Ithaca, you got a battery on the Cassidy, Left sticking to the Widowmaker. So you have 2 people with precision type accuracy and hit scan that can do so much damage if you're not careful, followed by the classic, what we saw from the last round. And then for the side of Fuel, you got the Mei, you got Diva, Kiriko, classic for Delphi, and this might consider, as long as they can break through, Fuel might be able to snowball just like Ithaca did.
They need to just not get picked off early. Now this defense matrix will help with Scummy as well as he's able to contest his high ground, but Onk now off of that hazard, switching over to that Sigma. Sigma very strong on this first point, as Double Bolt already comes in for Dor. The only reason that Bateri lived there is because of that combat roll defense damage reduction. Already, this Rhea's finding some value as a Kunai finds 1 shot onto Left. A jump shot here, though, with the hook shot, but will not find its mark. As on the side, Dor may be in trouble. Of Ithaca knows it's there, but yeah, I see Scummy doesn't need help to get to high ground anymore. He's just able to keep it going as he dives onto Left. And that's just a Widowmaker versus a Diva. Now the Widow will not fall as Abateri finds Dor. First pick goes the way of Ithaca yet again as Left finds another, and now Fuel, they're forced to retreat. Already a minute's been burned off the clock here for Ithaca, or Fuel's attack rather. Onk finds another as the Sigma's just going to keep building up time. Left building up this these walls with such speed. 97% already as Door says, screw it, taking the gloves off and taking the Widow duel.
Yeah, the Door is having none of this. It's like, you wanna dance, we're gonna dance. And already you can see tags going out for the side of the Door. And now Left needs to figure out, are they gonna try and fight sniper to sniper, or are they gonna go? But Cassidy needs to fall back. The Door on sniper support almost gets tagged, but they now know that Widowmaker's there. They go for the exchange into the center, falling through with the team. Almost saw the Cassidy. There you go. And the strike hits them, but still, Left is still left alive.
Yeah, it wasn't a fully charged shot there, so Left gonna live despite the headshot going in the way. Abateri found a kill on the low ground onto Woody. Another hook shot here, but it's just gonna hit the shield as now Widow duel. Both Widows, they want that. They want that as Door finds that opening pick. Now Fuel can start to press the advantage. They do have to be careful. There's a high noon here for Bateri, who's on this flank as they pull it out, as well as the Sigma ult. But it's walled off beautifully by Woody. Scummy uses that tidal blast through a little window just to stop it there as they find a second pick here. The members of Ithaca are going to be able to rotate over and they'll be able to get back in time as the walls come out for Fuel. There is a nano-boosted Sigma on point. The Ana falling. Ankh finds both supports, though. This nano Sigma is not falling yet. The damage, though, of Fuel is still here. Using those grasps, using the Kningas, using those hands. The Wuyong ult is invested as Door forced away, but the movement is a little bit better. Scummy finds Left, so trades in yet again as Woody tries to find some more value, but the healing on the side of Ithaca is just too good there. Both your supports fell to this Sigma as now Fuel basically 1 minute left. Again, this is such a hard point to get past, especially now that Ithaca can start the forward hold here, hold on top of this bridge, top of this high ground. Fuel over to the Zarya. It's a classic from Scummy. Door back over to the Comfort Sojourn. The Widow duel worked out. Left switched off of it, is now on that Freya. Fuel wants some more frontline damage. Kitsune Rush comes in here from the side of Fuel, as already one has fallen from Ithaca. Rush from Artemis is going to make sure that Scummy can get all those kills possible. Zarya with full charge, shooting at max speed because of that speed, because of that fire rate boost from the lane, from that rush is going to do so much damage as Fuel finally break past first point. Now 3 minutes on the clock to cap second.
And as these engagements go more so for the side of Fuel, it's going to be a matter, can they break through this second line of defense? Because Ithaca is in a very prime position to hold right now.
Ithaca are indeed, as what is that melody indeed, Sigma. Door finds one. A good cleanse there, though, from Artemis. He said Ankh is actually going to be the one to fall. Problem with Sigma, Kinetic Grasp is not going to do anything against the beam of Zarya, especially when it's fully charged. Savies, though, does find a trade onto Door here. Will not be able to find another, as the Wuyong is going to get run over there. Artemis finding that headshot as Fuel already at a point cap here. They're getting there. 45 seconds. They got the second fight a lot faster than that first one. Again, as I said, right, second point is pretty much, once you get past that opening, because you win first fight, you have to tap through. Second point's quite easy to keep it up as the flashbang goes wide. Materi not finding its mark. Door, though, is going to fall to a double bolt as Bullet Shot comes in again, and Left trying to clutch up equally as hard as Door did once before. Something about this spot with Freya, which causes clutches to come out as left alone here, but Bugaboo finds another, and it's just left alone. Left alone and scared and dead. The side of Bugaboo, who finds another water orb to the face.
And as being left behind by his entire team, it just was not enough, and now Fuel Esports has one final point to secure, but they have a fight ahead of them. Will it be enough? The exchanges of fire are going out. The Door is the only one on field with an ultimate in the entirety of the team, of both teams right now. But the Cassie is at 90, but they're barely left alive. Engagement goes out, tags go out, but it's not enough, and it's just suppressing fire.
Left taking this aggressive duel, keep wide swinging. Ankh now over to the Zarya as clock comes out from Door. We've seen how much value this can get before. So far, the heads have not been found, as instead just going to do max damage in main. Not sure where this Cassidy is, but Scummy kills two as this Cassidy once again just stuck behind a Mei wall. You're playing Cassidy into Mei. That's a classic counter to a high noon. as Fuel marches forward, and they're trying to match the
Wait, they
match that time bank. They
Oh.
will not, as there will be a contestation here, and it'll be very, very close and even time banks from both teams. As Fuel, once they got past that first point hurdle, they ran over the side of Ithaca here. However, that first point hurdle is still a threat, right? Because now they're going to go back to those first points, and Ithaca's first point had 0 stopping, 0 pauses whatsoever. Fuel got stuck there for 3 minutes, so they're going to have to change up something to be able to break through this hold that Ithaca has.
But the problem is that even though Ithaca had a very solid attack when Fuel was on defense, when it swapped, Fuel just snowballed. Once they got past that bridge, it was just no stopping.
Problem is, though, they have to get past that bridge yet again here, right?
Oh,
We're back to point A. Ithaca, the bridge was not a problem. They got past it in 0 fights, basically, right? They just got early picks. Here, though, Fuel have to get past this. They cannot afford to be stalled at any point, as seeing what the comps for both teams to do just that is going to be, as Ithaca is going to be rolling out on defense first.
The Thermopylae of Overwatch is about to begin. And depending on who's attacking, who's defending, it is going to go either way. They need to get past that bridge.
Yeah, now over here on Ithaca, an interesting comp coming out. Abateri going to take that May duel here versus Woody. And now, as well as the Juno going to be picked, they want more speed boost. They didn't want more damage. They want more speed to let Ankh run over the backline of Fuel. See how much value that ends up getting, as the Wuyong's going to have more value in the neutral, right? Juno has value, when they use that speed boost turns, and also with that ultimate, the Wuyong on average is going to be doing so much damage. His door is going to be uncontested on this Widowmaker now, as all members of Ithaca are just holding far back. They're playing this low ground hold instead of this high ground hold. The only one on high ground is going to be Ankh, who is already fighting up members of Fuel. As seeing each team looking for this. The OT code worked. For once on Junkertown, they actually are able to use their perks after the OT round happens.
Oh,
That breaks every time on this map. But speaking of breaking, Ankh's health bar is dangerously low, but Savies finds the first pick of Scummy over chases. A beautiful cleanse there from John Badus stops this first push of Fuel already. Now they have to be careful. They need to find basically one fight away. It will be one fight and, one attempted contestation, right? One last second point. But really, this last fight is where Fuel needs to make some magic happen. Juno has a lot of value when the perks are online, so like the switch here, as we'll see, teams taking another neutral fight. Walled off here is Ankh. It doesn't matter as they're able to break through it. The healing coming in. Scummy needs to not overextend this time. He got picked off last time. Wall goes wide. May, ice block used. Door finds the trade. Wins out on the Sojourn duel, which means now Fuel can march forward.
And as that May goes into an ice cube, they're just going to be suppressed and shredded. The wall tries to defend, but the door goes through onto the bridge, and with some heavy suppressing fire goes in. The railgun takes a fire.
What a wall! Woody
And
with
the
a beautiful wall to cut off every point of escape on the side of Ithaca. Means that Fuel can keep walking forward, but Woody, as we say that, overextends, gets picked off.
Yeah, but look at Scummy chasing down Ankh. Almost got
They
them by
don't
the skin
touch
of the
points!
teeth.
Ithaca didn't touch point!
Nope.
They don't care, as it's not going to give them more time. It's already overtime, so it's last fight situation anyways. But now they have this point. Wall goes wide yet again. Scummy able to escape here, as Blizzard is up for the side of a Battery, as well as Grab. Fuel doesn't have those ultimates. They just have that Tidal Blast. The ult lead is all in Ithaca, but they're already getting more meterage. As this keeps going on, they're gaining more and more time. Woody falls to a railgun shot. Battery finds another with the Blizzard. Fuel stopped their push. A little bit under halfway into second point, but good push nonetheless.
So, okay, gonna have a real dumb question. I'm confused. So what happens now? So what Ithaca needs to do 29 meters or more?
Ithaca needs to get to cap first point and get 29 meters or more on second point here.
Okay.
So they can they have about 2 fights again, or they'll have roughly. It'll probably be more like 3, maybe 4-ish fights, 3 good fights for or if it's
Like probably
iffy.
3 good fights and probably a 4th like last ditch effort.
Pretty much, yeah, especially depending on how early picks end up happening. If it's the same as last time, it'll be just those 3 fights. But we'll see what they're going to roll out on. As they're on attack now, Fuel, they may go towards that Sigma that ended up holding Fuel at bay, but instead they're just going to stick to what they've been playing, what they've been good at. As the Juno switch for Savies is coming out yet again, just doesn't feel like there's much value in the Wuyong here on these early fights. I don't know if I agree. I think Wuyong just has so much innate value with just the amount of damage he can pump in, has so much healing as well. His ultimate isn't going to be the same, whereas Savies, once he gets that Juno ultimate, if he can get that Juno ultimate, he'll be able to pretty much guaranteed win a fight. It's one of the few fight-winning ults still left in the game. We'll see as 14 seconds for Ithaca's defense to start, or attack to start up here as Fuel stationed on this bridge like every other team has done before them.
And Ithaca only has 2 minutes to make some sort of play. And as the charge goes out, exchange of fire already beginning. The door firing the first shots of this round. The engagement goes out. The enemy Sojourn of Ithaca tries to counter and mirror that of Fuel Esports, but is it going to be enough? The lasers are flying, the bullets are flying, the Kiriko are flying, the ice walls are coming up, everything's going crazy, and this is what we like to see.
Both Zarya's trading as many bubbles as possible. There was a speed ring up on high ground there to keep, Unk alive. There's a wall coming out from Woody, but it's not going to find too much as a better wall invested from the side of Abatarias. Now there's a full charge Zarya walking at them. Fuel forced to give up a lot of space. Already past this first bridge here is Ithaca, but now they have to keep pushing. But Woody doesn't press the ice block in time and falls as now Fuel forced to fight a 4 versus 5 here. And that's not going to be a very advantageous play for them as Artemis is going to fall and Fuel, they're basically now on last fight territory as Ithaca will be able to walk this one forward. The kickoff early there is not going to be play as 50 seconds remain, but they've already hit the cap here. Now there's just 29 meters separating Fuel and Ithaca from their first point of the series. This is still just map 2.
Well, yeah, we got plenty of game to go even after this. But a good wall out stops the escape or any fallback. The door manages to take out left. Woody goes into an ice block. They are just trying to hold. They are now at the 25-second mark, but they got to stop that payload. They got to get on that car and stop it. The wall from Woody goes. The door shuts down. I mean, the actual door, not the door of the player.
The door
but then
finds
he
the
shuts
killer.
down Ankh.
Shuts down Ankh. You know what? You spoke it into existence as the overclock pulls out yet again in main here. But the shots do not find their mark. Just some body shots here onto Savi's Ankh. Last second touch switches over the monkey. Winston just struggles in this type of meta as Jambadus, that's a pick you don't want, and a C9 to finish the map there for the side of Ithaca's Fuel take a 2-0 lead as they get the Sombra Man out of the way and they win the map with it.
And this is exactly what you want to see, and Scummy is celebrating hardcore. He is happy. A really good strike here. And this is right at the start, this blitz that Scummy did, taking out 3, going for the 4th.
This is the cap. This is what capped him the point, gets his 4. Scummy switching over to the Zarya, that comfort character, right? Trying out, this Malga, trying out, some picks here and there, trying to figure out what the diva, but in the end of the day, Scummy is going to be a Zarya player through and through, and he loves his Zarya. Woody, well done on the Mei. As soon as swapped off that Echo, Fuel started to win these fights. The rest of the team did fantastically, as well as Door, obviously finding these miracle picks, always finding these opening picks onto the enemy hit scan, which is just going to win you games, right? That's what you need from your hit scan, from someone who is, as good as Door is going to be.
And absolutely, like, with that, going into that final fight, that Ithaca had a chance, but the problem is, like, they swapped onto the Winton, but it wasn't enough, because when the ice wall came up,
Honestly, they just didn't touch the point.
There was no chance.
I think they had a chance. I think both Sojourn and I think someone else could have got a touch. But
yeah, but then the door blasted them out of the sky like it was a clay pigeon.
That's true. Door did do that exactly. But now, that's a rough one for Ithaca, right? Ithaca invests their Sombra Man, so Woody's going to stay in, and you already know Sombra's coming, right?
Oh, yeah. If you've watched our streams, you see Woody as Sombra.
They lose the game where the Sombra Band comes in. When you're fighting a team that's so, clearly going to play one character, right? When Woody's clearly just going to play that Sombra, and you lose the map with Sombra, especially in such a heartbreaking fashion, 5-4. We'll see as we're going to be heading into our 3rd game shortly, but before that, we're going to have to take a short break.
We definitely have to.
It's not a dream. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. There's so much more that I can get. Let me wander when we go to bed. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I wanna smile that I couldn't get. Close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 club and I've been thinking lately about the night that you left and told me that you hate.
Welcome back, everybody. Heading into our third map. We're on Esperanza. That's one I haven't said in a while.
Esperanza.
Almost always New Queen Street when we play push.
Yeah, that's
Or,
true.
you know, I think I saw Runasapi once. We'll see, though. As Fuel you love this map usually. However, Woody is going to be on the Sombra. There's always possibilities. Ithaca taking that Sojourn out of the pool. Can you really blame them after what Thor's been able to do?
no.
But Fuel going to ban that Lucio, so Ithaca cannot play their standard rush comp. They love to run over teams with that Junker Queen Lucio comp here on this map. Instead, going back to that Hazard. You will see Door on Ashe, who I think is the strongest hit scan in the game right now. So I like this pick a lot more. I think it's pretty good into the Freya as well, as you can find those shots if he's stunned up in the wall. But already Hat comes in from Woody, and Subai falls early. Now, I mean, that's a switch as well. Another role swap here for the side of Ithaca. Every map so far, you know, they've changed a player out, right? First time it was their support. Now it's Subai in over Bateri. So far, it's going the way of Fuel as Woody already finds 2 picks. Now, this is a map where Sombra is a lot more unleashed than the first two, right? On Control, teams are always going to be fighting around that 1 point. There's not much angles to go around. It's a fully symmetrical map. And then on Junkertown, obviously, it wasn't there. So, this map, so many tight angles, so many little hiding spots that Woody can play in. Really will start to wreak havoc on the backline on Ithaca. But a beautiful slash there from Onk. Finds the spy check on Woody, as now they can keep pushing forward. Door falls as well. Hazard, a character that can do it all. Maybe in trouble here as he falls dangerously low, but he gets pocketed here by Savies as Ithaca find their fight.
But the thing is that even though Ithaca is finding their fight, it's minimal at best. They did manage to get at least 3 kills off the board, but they still got a lot to go to this push. It's a 15 to 22 meter difference currently. It's still minimal. They're just about to tie it and gain a little bit some ground, but Fuel is already here and ready for the engagement, and Woody's already in the back line, probably doing some spy checking as well as communicating to the rest of the team.
Counter swaps coming in for both sides, right? As soon as Subai falls on that Freya, gonna switch over to the Venture, who's just that little bit more survivable, a bit more follow up on these dives a little bit better. Now Door, seeing the Venture, switches over to the Cassidy. Very good into both Genji and Adventure. Does end up finding some picks. Door did fall to their own deflect, or to their own shot to a deflect. Jabadus gets a pick onto Woody, but Subai forced to walk away with 53 meters on the cart. And importantly, I believe checkpoint over? I don't believe so, but it's almost like it may have, but it did not. Checkpoint still up the side of Ithaca, which means Fuel forward spawns. The spawns are still equal, right? There's not going to be those forward spawns for Ithaca, which start to snowball their lead more and more and more. Now Woody looks for something more. EMP in 5%.
And as just gets into the back line, gets the hack, goes in for an exchange. That submachine gun just tickling them just a little bit. They just got to get a little more close. Do they go for the kill? They manage to get it with the Door, taking out Onk as well on the Cassidy. It's enough to at least get them through. Delphi takes out left, and then the Door takes out Jamba Juice, and that's a complete shred. And then the Door finishing it off with the rest of Ithaca surviving and having to fall back.
Yeah, Fuel trying to chase this late pick onto Subai. I do find it as Artemis finds Kunai to body of Subai. That's now Fuel back in the lead, and they have forward spawn, so they'll be able to keep this aggression going. Scummy just lasers left down. It just doesn't even backdash in time. Just falls to a dry pick from Scummy as Fuel keep the aggression on. Momentum is definitely in their favor as 4 ultimates are here. Woody found just an insane amount of value onto Savies last time. Played a little bit of Sombra 76 action, right? Kind of like a soldier, but Woody and left trade out. Woody still has that EMP as Scummy finds another. Subai on the back looking for something, as well as the blading left, who cleans up 2. Finds the third.
Kill.
Dragon Blade can do. Bugaboo left alone. Will not find the pick. Leave. Fuel should be able to respawn in time with these forward spawns. They'll be able to take another fight quickly before the spot can get back to middle.
And because that bot needs to walk all the way back to get to where Ithaca's is, but 110 to 53. It is slowly more turning the tide into Fuel's hands. They just need to win a couple more fights, and they still have 4 ultimates in their back pocket with 64% on Bugaboos.
Yeah, Fuel found so much distance there. Now Woody has this EMP, is hunting for something. Let's be careful. Something that Fuel have happened a lot. Now you don't need to invest EMP when a beautiful grab there comes in from the side of Scummy, and that's going to win that fight there. Something you've got to be careful for Fuel. The big thing they've had is Woody looks for these really big EMPs, and then, you know, the team just isn't available to follow up. Woody ends up falling there to Subai as a little bit of overt extension yet again, trying to find these picks, trying to find these trades. Instead gets traded themselves. Whoever support spawns are back here. Did we end up getting it in time is the question, though. I believe it is now. Kitsune comes in from the side of Ithaca. They're traded, trying to find as much value, but Fuel just kited out beautifully. I mean, it did nothing. It did nothing. This Kitsune did completely nothing. High Noon does not find the value Dor wants. Keeps these fan the hammers. Doesn't want to take that silver bullet. Instead, just wants to keep his fan damage, be able to push out. The Fuel traded yet again as Woody's in behind. There will not be an EMP, but they've been holding this EMP for a while as they just haven't found the fight to pull it out. Dor fights to the left and gets nade deflected right back at them as another late trade there for the side of Ithaca. So they'll be able to get some meterage on the board and maybe bring themselves their own cap here for that, for that checkpoint to stop Fuel's aggression. Stop Fuel. However, it's hard to take into this point. One of the hardest points to capture in the game, especially when Subai is so far behind. Looking for these spy checks, just keeps throwing those drill shots.
They're
Will not
paranoid.
find Woody. They have to be. That's the problem. But left picks off Artemis in the meantime in main. Gambadou's another as well. As members of Ithaca keep this fight going. Ong found a good grab there to clean it up. Fuel, though, did not trade any ultimates. Woody still has EMP, but they're going to have to invest it shortly, or else it'll be troublesome. Now gets that virus replication. Will be able to keep this damage up and make sure that everyone gets a virus applied to them once the hack comes out. Tune invested from the side of Artemis as the team of Fuel rallies behind this lane. There is a Venture ult in the backline, though. Tectonic Shock is not going to find anything except for their own death as Scummy and Woody clean it up, and Fuel right back to the control of the bot. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remain.
And as the time ticks down, it's 110 to 86 meters. The favor is still in the side of Fuel, and now it is coming down to an assault. Woody hacking everything in their path. EMP is still on hold. They haven't had a chance to use it yet.
Yeah, Woody just unable to invest this EMP. As Subai looking for an unburrow, but it's just forced to drill dash immediately out. No value found, no cooldowns used. Instead, their own team's cooldowns are the ones that have to be used. The High Noon comes out from Dor, and it finds the #1 pick he's looking for, which is the backline, the support of Ithaca. Now Woody holding the hands out, looking for some sort of a hack. Doesn't need it. Instead, going to fight in, try to kill this Kiriko, who ends up in right back to the fight as Fuel get the lead yet again. 2 minutes and 30 seconds as they're back on the offensive. They're back towards being able to continue this meterage gain as Woody did invest the ultimate. I don't know what happened to it, but it's 2 ults here for Fuel versus 3 of Ithaca. Now early Wu Young ult invested with the blade. I think that grab went wide. I don't think Scummy aimed the grab how he wanted to, but he does find the trade on the left as Fuel trying to keep this fight going, but it's just going to be one measly trade as the rest of Ithaca keep this aggression up. 2 ults invested for the 1. Scummy trying to grab a blading Genji, ends up going wide.
And as Ithaca is now making their way downtown, they need to find out how to break through Fuel's line. But Fuel's going to be there ready and waiting. But Woody is still in their back line waiting.
Woody waiting for their time to go, but instead gets picked off by a drill from Subai. As now Kitsune invested from Ithaca. They've been pulling these first often. It does pay dividends. Left is now over to the Tracer. Genji just wasn't finding the value they needed outside of those ult turns. They need more neutral pressure. That's exactly what this Tracer provides, as well as allows people backline access. Fuel struggling a little bit on these neutral fights, on these ult disadvantage fights, as they're looking for these early picks. Woody ends up getting picked off early in the meantime. Woody now looking, but keeps getting spy check. Tracer so good in this, as all of a sudden, Ithaca are at the meterage, tie up with Fuel, or even take the lead at the last minute. But Woody finds a pick on a save. He's a second
Double
pick
kill
for Woody. Is going to clutch up this fight. It looked dangerous as that Avaton came in from the side of Ong, but Woody finds 3 as Scummy there to clean them up, and a good peel there for Fuel means that Ithaca will not be able to take the meter advantage. It's still 12 meters to Fuel's lead as we're down to the last 30 seconds of the map.
And it's going to come down to probably what you like to estimate, like at least 1 or 2 more team fights to kind of determine what's going to happen.
And how fast Ithaca could take a fight, but judging by this time, it feels like it's going to be 1 fight and maybe a touch if they lose the fight. Unless, however, if Fuel loses this fight, it's just until the fights end. It'll go till the game is over. Now, what are you looking to try to recreate that magic? The real truth is, though, he doesn't need to go for these insane one-shots. Really should just look to build up his ultimate. Tune Rush used defensively as well as the Tectonic Shock invested from the side of Ithaca. Woody will not be able to build up that EMP as the team's just going to win it dry. It's high noon indeed as Onk is forced to play cart as the overtime. He's at the bot. It's actually going to be the death sentence to Ithaca Blue
EMP
here.
went off.
EMP did go off, but it did not really find too much of value. Left finds a trade on door, but that's all she wrote as Ithaca Blue fall on Esperanza and Fuel take a 3-0 victory in our 3rd place match.
And that's it. Fuel with an absolute domination, 2-1. Oh, and we can also see we got
we had some
insane
plans
scores.
going into this.
We got some plans going on as we take a look through our player cams. We got the googly eyes. They are so happy. I'd be happy. That was an insane match.
Yeah, you know, first and second map looked a little dicey as well as that 3rd map at the end, but in the end, Fuel end up taking it 3-0. They will watch that one up. We're going to try to match. We have glasses, so it doesn't really work as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, but yeah, Fuel dominant there at the end, right? They just kept it going. As soon as the Sombra band's invested, Woody becomes a problem, right? Sombra on Esperanza really started to come alive, started to come online as Fuel take 3rd place in Division 5 NECC, I think, of Overwatch.
Yeah, Div 5.
Yeah, Div 5 of NECC. They'll take 3rd place and get themselves that podium finish that they so wanted.
It's wanted and absolutely deserved. This entire semester, the Overwatch team has played insanely well in every league. They dominated at the Battle of the Forest City we had. This team from beginning to end has been insane.
Yeah, this team has really, you know, they've found the things they needed to succeed, right? They worked on their problems, right? They had a little bit of champ pool issues. They fixed those. They had some role problems. They find those solved. They play some ultimate ultimate issues. They fixed those as well as this team really started to shine as it went on and on. So, I mean, I think I stand by the fact that they were 2nd or 1st strongest team. I think their semifinals match would have been the real finals, as that ended up going 3-2, and it was a very, very close game. Ithaca not going to be able to contend at the same level that Purdue Black ended up being able to, but still, you know, a good match nonetheless as Fuel take another again 3-0 lead. Scummy got the crown.
He's got the crown.
He's got the googly eyes. He's having fun. I mean, Scummy's the vibe guy, right? He brings the vibes. Him and Spark bring the vibe. Spark, even when he didn't play, right? He's still in the room making sure the vibes are good, and that's something that's so important and why this team has so much success.
The chemistry of that team is absolutely, it's amazing. It's real. You can tell, like, they get along, they communicate, both, like, in competition, but also outside as well. Like, you can tell that this is a team that really knows each other very well.
It does, indeed. It's a team of friends, right? They all like each other. But speaking of those friends, let's see if we can get one of them on for an interview. I feel like they're going to be happy to do so after a pretty strong win and a podium finish. We'll have to take a short break before that. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned.
Proceed.
Hello everyone, and welcome to week 15 of the Fuel Esports Weekly Update. We've wrapped up the Canadian Esports Nationals, but there's still one more week of playoff competition before the season's over. Let's talk about it. Before we recap Nationals, let's talk about what else happened this week. On Monday, we held our Monday Night Game Night for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee in Forwell Hall. Thank you all for coming out. There'll still be one more before the end of the season on December 15th. We'll talk more about that next week. We also want to say thank you to everyone who came and talked to us at the Fanshawe College Open House on Saturday. It was a pleasure to meet all of our future community members, and we hope you choose Fanshawe, and we hope you choose Fuel Esports in your future. Now, let's talk about what matches happened last week. We had the Canadian Esports Nationals happening, which ran throughout the week, where teams were competing against some of the top competition across Canada. We're so proud of how our teams played, and we look forward to having them back next season. And congratulations to the teams that got high placements in their divisions, like Fuel Esports Call of Duty for placing in the top 4, as well as Fuel Esports Valorant, who's competing for the bronze medal right now. We'll have an update on that on our social media at Fanshawe Fuel, where you can find all of our daily score reports and stream schedules. We'll also have all the VODs on our Twitch channel at Fanshawe Fuel and on Rogers TV on channel 13. As to what's coming up this week, on Wednesday, we'll be set up at the FSU Chill Lounge in Fort Wall Hall. Come and join us. We'll have lots of video games for you to play and take your mind off of the end of the season. And on Monday, we'll be back for the final EAFC night of the year in Fort Wall Hall. You can join us at 6 p.m. for friendly matches before the bracket begins at 7. And that's all for this week. Make sure you follow us at Fanshaw Fuel on all social media so you don't miss any future weekly updates. We'll be back with the final one of the season next Tuesday.
So we are here with the captain of the Overwatch team, Scummy, after an insane 3-0 domination. How you feeling?
I feel great, honestly. During the game, we were doing fantastic. Our team was coordinating a lot, which I am super happy about. We've been scrimming a lot and practicing, so I saw a lot of things we were doing in practice played during the game. So just want to shout out my team. Super proud of all of you and the progress you've made thus far in the season. You all better be back next season. But other than that, I'll leave it to you two.
Yeah. You know what? First off, I'm just gonna. I can't see. Fun fact: there's nothing through these. That's just.
You can't see a thing?
Yeah. So that's a fun little thing. No. I mean, yeah. Obviously, I think fantastic season from you guys as well. Honestly, this match, it's third place. But obviously, congratulations on that, right? But I kind of want to talk more about the overarching season, as this is, I believe, our final time seeing you guys play in this semester. What would you say, like, overall takeaways from this season, and then things to work on going forward?
Things to work on are probably going to be expanding some of our hero pools. I know we stick, for some of our players, including myself, we stick to a lot of picks that work for good, like a lot of comps, but sometimes we need that switch. So I think that's going to be a big thing. I want to keep practicing what we're practicing during the season, because I think it's just, off season, just because I think it's going to create better cohesion with the team. So there's that as well. Other than that, I don't have too many takeaways right now. I think there is always room for improvement. So we're just going to go off the feedback we get from this game, even watching our VODs, and we're going to improve going forward.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, I think obviously you guys definitely have grown as a team, right? So I'd say, most of the team roster has been the same since last winter semester, I'd say. And as someone who, has been watching for most of the time, I'd say, you guys had some problems for sure.
Oh, 100%.
But genuinely looking at you two, the teams from then and now, it's night and day. And I want to know, what really goes into changing a team that drastically?
Cohesion. It's not only what you do during practice, but it's also out of practice. How in tune are you with your players? And as a captain, I try to plan little events that we do together, just outside of playing scrims and playing games, because I think it's important that not only are we there to play the game, sure, that's very important, but it's also important to take a break, have some fun, just so you get to know your players, their strengths, their weaknesses in and out of the game, right?
It's always good to know, like, your players and know kind of where their strengths are, where they need to improve. Overall, so going into the future, where do you kind of see, like, carrying, like, this Overwatch team in the future?
Can you what do you mean by that?
Like from you got a podium third place tonight, so as like the off season, talking with the team and kind of going into getting ready for next semester, are there's going to be like changes to composition, tactics, anything like that?
Okay, I hear you. What we want to work on, like I said, is expanding on our comp pool. That's going to be a big one, but also just trying to practice in our off season to keep the momentum and we have really good momentum and cohesion as of right now. A lot of our players are talking. We're doing great things. I want to keep this momentum we have and the strength we have going into next season, just so we don't come off cold. Yeah. Right? The worst thing you want is to play the first 4 games, you just get stomped and you're like, oh, this sucks, right?
And you guys are a team that is very, very dictated on momentum, I'd say.
Oh, 100%.
Very few times when you guys go up in a series is there a chance that you are going to lose it. Whereas if you start down, you can definitely struggle to get that ball rolling. Once you get it going, it keeps going, but it's all about starting. So keeping that, strength, keeping that momentum going through to the next season is definitely going to be key. And I think it's definitely going to be a tall task, but judging by, all the group of people you have, I'd say there's a very, very clear chance. And then you want to give any shout outs before you head out?
First and foremost, most importantly, shout out to everyone watching. You all are the reason we have so much fun doing this. Shout out to the wife. Shout out to my parents and family. And most of all, shout out to my team. You guys are what makes this so amazing, and you guys rule. Congrats on the 3rd place. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for joining us, Scummy. After a fantastic season, you do end up getting that 3rd place. So a nice little podium finish for yourselves. As let's take a look at the rest of this week for Fuel Esports. We're coming to the end of the semester, which means we're coming to the end of streams. We got Rocket League on the weekend. We got the Fall Major. And that's, I think, it for the rest. I don't think we have any other team.
I don't think
Apex is not something it's pretty difficult to stream. So I think we're going to see, a coming down of Fuel. We're not going to have too many games. So make sure you're there for those Rocket League streams. And then make sure you're in our Discord or any of our socials, Fanshawe Fuel everywhere, so you can keep up to date with next semester. It's not going to be this semester, but trials are going to be starting coming early on in next semester, as well as so you can join. Maybe you can join the Overwatch team. Maybe you could be, under this guy, right? You could be on a team with him. He's a fantastic captain. Or all of our other teams. Just make sure you're in that Discord to do that. And with that, I've been Newt.
I've been Dragon.
This is Scummy.
Have a great night, everybody.